Hey friends, I'm Laura Malone and I'm obsessed with all things coaching. Self-coaching, life coaching, specific niche coaching, all of it. For 20 years, I've been a traveling, homeschooling, full-time ministering, multi-passionate mom who finally decided to take the dream of starting my own business off of that top shelf. I realized that what I'd been doing all my life was called coaching. Then I found out it could be both ministry to those around me and a business blessing. Now I'm sharing everything I've learned over the years as coach, entrepreneur, and imperfect human who's still in process. I'm inviting you to my table laid out with a feast of spirit-led strategies, tangible tools, growth God's way, and clarity about your callings in life. So get ready to become the hero in your own story and an amazing guide to others. And now, enjoy the show. Hi again, friends. Today, I'm going to talk to you about something I'm very familiar with. It's duct taping my life together. It's duct taping my business together. I duct taped homeschooling together. I did everything I could for so many years with a pretty good scarcity mindset. And it really didn't get me very far. I'm looking back, and in hindsight, I do wish I had taken steps to make investments that would have helped me sooner and would have gotten me greater results in all of the areas. But honestly, we just didn't really have the money. We didn't have the resources that I thought I needed in order to get what I thought I needed. So instead of taking any steps to get something and take baby steps for less than perfect, less than extravagantly done, I did my best with what I could and the tools that I had. And I am glad for all of the imperfect action I've taken over the years, but I do wish that I had had some type of investment that I'd made a committed decision to. And that's what I want to talk to you today about. Like, you don't need to spend the next year or 5 or 10 years duct taping everything. You deserve better than that. And I wish somebody had told me that for myself. So if you're like me and you're using free resources like podcasts or cheap resources like books and $7 downloads, or your own ingenuity to follow in my cheap but slow footsteps, I get that. And this is what I would say to you now. Invest in yourself personally and professionally by inviting guidance and wisdom through coaching. And then you will reach your horizons sooner and with greater clarity and confidence. And the journey is far more fun and exciting with greater results with a coach. And it takes courage and it feels like a huge risk. But here's what I say to do. Just decide that you will get a coach for yourself. Just stop wavering and dilly-dallying and chopping things up. Just make a decision. Choose what is best for you. And I'm telling you that you need a coach. I believe everybody needs a coach. And if you think that stops when you get off of the football field or leave the rink or step off the court, coaching is such a valuable relationship in your life. And we lose that benefit when we leave high school, when we get off teams, like when we don't have that opportunity in front of us anymore to have somebody say, I'm going to help grow you and make you the best player in life you can be. We really lose something. And adulthood doesn't offer that in the way, schooling does and sports teams do. So you actually have to decide it's something you want. It's like going back to school. You have to make a decision. It's something you want and there's a reason for it. And then you go and you hire a coach. And there's coaches for everything out there at every price point. So just, if you've ever listened to just one podcast episode anywhere about, or even read a book about having a coach, being a coach, personal development, business growth and development, self-coaching. I've read a book or listened to a podcast about having children or being in a relationship, changing your mindset, becoming healthier, becoming a better you in any way, then you need a coach. And you don't need a coach because somebody else needs your money. That is the wrong mindset, first of all, and it's not even true. 99%, I'm leaving at 1% just for the evil people in the world that I don't know. But 99% of people who are coaches are just simply helping hearted people. And yeah, they have bills to pay and they offer value. And like any other job or profession, they deserve to be paid, But if you think even the ones who charge, $500, $1,000 an hour are asking too much, that's still the wrong mindset. Get out of that. Stop thinking about them. They charge that much for other people, other clients who are willing and able to invest that much in what they offer. So you're not even their ideal client, and they're not talking to you. But the ones who ask you to pay enough that it is an investment for you, and enough that it shows they offer something valuable, and enough to make you truly decide that you're willing to put money where your mouth is, those are the right coaches for you. You need a coach because your calling and your soul deserve care and help. That's it. You have problems, you have challenges, you have hindrances, and you might not even be used to people helping you. And you might not be used to asking for help or even accepting it when it's offered. So the best person for you to walk with you and guide you isn't necessarily your mom or your best friend, but it's often an unbiased, helping-hearted coach. Maybe you're not willing to spend the money and you're justifying yourself with your belief around the fact that you don't have enough. Well, I've been there. And that right there is enough to qualify you as a great coaching client. Not enough is a lie straight from the pit of hell that we've been taught from childhood. And we can't blame our parents for teaching it to us. You know what? It is exactly what the enemy of our souls wants us to believe. So he taught our parents and their parents. He's taught everybody else around us to believe that there's not enough. And you know what? There's always enough. Ask Heidi Baker. And he's been telling that lie to us since Eve first heard that what she had with God wasn't enough and that there was more that she could have. We've all bought into it and we all need help out of it. But we do have enough because God gives us everything we need. He sees and knows what we need before we do, the Bible says. So enough is just a relative term, and it's hugely based and used based on our paradigm and our expectations. And whether you think you don't have enough money or you don't have enough time or enough reason, whatever it is, it doesn't make it true just because you think that. But if you still think that it's a reasonable justification, you keep living with it because you've lived with it and that belief, that lie, for so long. It is time to switch your paradigm and believe something different. And that is really all you have to do, is change your mind. Take captive the thoughts, confine them, and challenge them. And simply decide to believe that you're worth it because the Bible says so. It's what God says about you. And you can faith it till you make it if you need to. But the Bible says you're worth it, and I'm telling you you're worth it. And I know there are people in your life who would tell you you're worth it, even if you don't think there are. So let's talk about how to make your ability to get a coach a reality. Because I want to encourage you and help you take action steps to put the duct tape away and use it on the appropriate projects, not yourself. So I'm going to start with telling you a story. I have moved so much in the past 25 years, actually, probably 30 years. I have moved so much. And because of the last 20 years, the nonprofit work that we do, we used to live in Hawaii. And we had to get rid of everything because we were moving to Nashville. So we'd already moved to Hawaii from other places and had to start over. But now we're moving to Nashville, and we move into this like small apartment with 3 little girls. We don't have any furniture or decor. And I really just don't know how to come up with money out of nowhere to find, just things to put on the wall and make the house feel like a home. And one day I realized my expectations were out of alignment. I was thinking that I should be able to go shopping right now and buy anything and everything I wanted and come home and decorate it all and have it done within a couple of days. But that was ridiculous thinking. So I've never been able to do that. I have never been in a situation where I had the time and the resource to do that. And it was a subconscious belief system making me think that if I can't do it all at once and do it extravagantly, it can't be done. And the funny thing is that all at once and extravagant, they're not even my style. It's not the way I operate, but it was the comparison I was struggling with. And I thought about what my next baby step would be to get what I needed for my home. And I believe that the Lord showed me a way. So I started looking for what I wanted to decorate my house with. And I just started with at home goods. Everything is pretty low prices there. And I started envisioning what I wanted and determining how much it would cost. And then I started taking just $15 a week from the paycheck, right? And either using it on one thing at home goods or saving up for 2 or 3 weeks to get something that cost more than $15, right? And the fun part of it was that I got to go to the store once a week or twice a month and pick up something new, one at a time. But it filled the apartment. I took care of what I needed to take care of. And I've kept that process with me for years now. And eventually I started doing it with my wardrobe. So instead of complaining I didn't have clothes I loved and couldn't ever see how I would revamp my old mom clothing, since I had 3 growing girls in the house that needed clothes, I started giving myself a small budget of $10 or $15 a week to put towards clothes that made me feel good. So I'd either get one thing at Marshall's or TJ Maxx or Target, or I would save up for 2 weeks or more to get something that was twice as much, or that I wanted from someplace else that was more expensive. And I found that the struggle I had was thinking that I should have what I wanted when I wanted it, rather than the idea of becoming aware of what I really wanted and making a plan for how I would take action to get it. Because once I had a plan to get it, I felt hope. And once I had hope, I struggled with less disappointment and despair about how to make things happen. So I'm saying that story because I want you to see the progression of the awareness that there was a problem I had, the awareness that there was a solution, and then a commitment to choosing a solution and believing that I was worth the investment and decision and the commitment. So after the awareness and the decision, then the next thing is you have to determine how to make it happen and stop telling yourself that you can't make it happen. Your I can't is generally an I won't somewhere in your soul if you go looking for it. And a lot of times your I won't stems from the belief that you're not worth it. So you're believing that there's no process that could get you to where you need to be. But if you stop and give it some time and thought, you'll see that you're really capable of it. And it might take some planning and even a little sacrifice, but it's possible. And all things are possible, so I'm going to help you figure this one out. Go find a coach you appreciate, respect, and who you would want to work with. If you want to become a coach or you want to grow as a coach, I would love to work with you. But if you're looking for a business coach, a health coach, or maybe you listen to a podcast or read a book on a very niche topic and they offer coaching for you, just decide that you will be coached, you will become coachable, and you will find the person that you want to be coached by, no matter who it is. Don't ask yourself if you have the money to do it or if your spouse would be okay with it before you determine if you want it. First, decide if you want it or not. Is this actually something that you're interested in? And it's okay to want it without hearing an audible voice of God telling you that you should have it. Then decide if you're going to do something about it and lay out the steps you need to take to get the coaching. That's talking to your spouse, laying out a financial plan, putting it on your calendar. So, for first things first, just knowing the horizon you're wanting to move towards and decide that you want to go there, then take action to get what you need for the journey in order. Where you're planning to go and how long it's going to take to get there determines what you need to put in your boat for the trip across the water to the horizon you envisioned. So literally say to yourself, do I want a coach to help me grow? Yes or no? And then will I take action to get a coach and grow? Yes or no? When both of these questions line up with a yes in your spirit, then and only then do you ask yourself if you have what you need to make that happen right now. Not later, just right now. Make it simple. If the answer is no, you don't have what you need, then you need to determine what you have to do to get what you need to take the journey. That's all it is. If you're going to take a trip and you don't have everything you need for the trip, you don't cancel the trip. You just say, I need to make a list. I have to go to the store. I have to see if my friend lets me borrow the canoe or the tent. You just go looking for the resources. You figure it out. You don't cancel the entire trip because you don't have everything you need for it right now, right? So you have decided to take a journey and you're sitting on the shore of sameness. And when you recognize you need a coach, that's the moment you realize that you want to leave the shore. And there's another shore that you're going to get in a boat and go to across the water. So now it's time to find a boat and put what you need inside the boat for the journey, because you've decided there's a horizon to move towards. And that's the most important part of the journey. It's your actual decision to grow and to do something to make it happen. I would say I don't know when I actually made that decision. I don't think that I really truly made those actual decisions. They were floating, they were ethereal, they were thoughts, they were subconscious. But the actual decision and the commitment to that decision, I don't think that really happened until I decided to put my money where my mouth was, to ask someone to coach me, to guide me, to walk with me. And I feel like that's when I set aside my scarcity and I set aside my pride, I set aside my, what if getting a coach makes me look, incapable or incompetent on my own? Whatever those things were, when I set them aside and I got a coach and I actually started putting money and time and energy into it, like an investment into the place I decided I've been acting like I want to go. I've been saying I wanted to have a coaching business that was thriving and transforming lives and teaching other people how to do it. I'd been saying that for a long time, and I'd been taking a lot of baby steps for lots and lots of years, and I'm super glad for the foundation and all the action I did take. But that committed decision to get guidance and that commitment, that made all of the difference. That is what really moved the needle forward. And if I have one regret, it's that I didn't do that sooner. And if money is an issue in your mindset still, consider, like if you'd ever pay a teacher to teach you something. Would you pay to take a class so somebody can give you instruction about something that is important to you? That's what college is, and people do it all the time. Teachable, there's so many learning platforms out there, Skillshare. And imagine, are you taking classes anywhere? That's all that it is. is hiring a coach to coach you is the same thing, but with a deeper investment and more action on your part to get results, not just have knowledge. And a coach is somebody who teaches you about the problem you have and the solution you can find, and then asks you the right questions so you can individually determine how to get to the place you've decided you want to go with intention, rather than just being taught something through a class. So now you have information and knowledge about it. Coaching helps you take the knowledge and put it into action. So if you'd be willing to spend the money, but maybe you're still resistant to coaching, then I would probably ask you, are you refusing to be humble enough to accept somebody else's guidance? Or do you simply just not want to change your ways or do something different? Maybe you're not a good coaching client. Maybe you're not coachable yet. The other thing is, are you uninterested in leaving behind your complacency and your comfort in exchange for mustering the courage you need in order to take action? If you are resistant to getting coaching, then one of these things is true. Either you don't think you're worth it, you're not willing to be humble and accepting of guidance, you are still stuck in a scarcity mindset, you still prefer comfort over growth, or you simply don't know that you need change and growth. If you were my client, we would go through the Pearl practice for this, meaning I would take you backwards from the L to the P, discussing the legacy you want to create in your personal or professional life. That's your horizon that you want to achieve, the place you want to go. Then we would determine the R, the results that you'd need to get in order to create the legacy. And then the A, the actions required to get the results. The E is the emotions that lead you to take the action that you need to take. And P is the paradigm you have to live in order to experience the emotion that will drive you towards the action. So all in all, it's just Pearl spelled backwards, and we go from the letter L to P, starting with the horizon that you say you want to reach. So, for example, if you were, say, a mom who is called to be a coach, and that is your horizon, I would, it would sound something like this. Like I would ask you what kind of legacy you want to create. What is the horizon? And if I hear you saying that you want to create a legacy of walking in your coaching calling in such a way that your children learn from your journey and believe they can do what they're called to do because they're watching you teach them that, then the results that we would talk about needing to get, I would ask you questions to help you understand and come up with for yourself the results that you need to be seeing in order for that legacy to come to pass. So something like your personal growth through that journey, it would need to manifest in a way that your children see you valuing yourself and your calling, okay? So consistent results of your children seeing you value yourself and your calling as you pursue becoming a coach. And then the action you would need to take to get the result would be things like setting boundaries, having self-discipline, and changing your mindset from caregiver to others to somebody who is able to be a caregiver to herself. The emotion that you need to experience to encourage this action taking would be maybe like purposeful, visionary, excited. You need to feel like there's real purpose behind it all. And with that emotion, it encourages you to set the boundaries and change mindsets, etc. So the paradigm you have to live from in order to experience this emotion would maybe be that you need to believe you matter just as much as all the other people you are responsible for. So you have to have thoughts like, I'm worth this. I can do this. It is okay for me to take time for myself and what's in my heart. Or let's say that the legacy you want to create is more specific to your business. And just taking a coaching business example, maybe it's a coaching business that helps transform the lives and futures of college-bound kids. Okay, so the results you'd need to get in order to create that legacy are that you are consistently walking with clients who are students, and I would say parents as well, that want to have college experiences that are hopeful and courageous and transformative, right? So the action you need to take to get this result is you need to be marketing and reaching out to high school students and sharing your expertise with people in that sphere of influence. The emotion you have to experience to encourage this action taking is that you need to feel maybe excited about it, confident. You need to feel boldness. So then the paradigm you have to live from to experience that emotion is that believing that God gave you the gift of your own college experience, so you're equipped for this, and believing He'll lead you well as you're guiding others. So that means your thoughts have to be things like, I know how to help them, and I will open my mouth and God will fill it when I'm in front of the auditorium or the principal. And I don't need to be a perfect expert. I just need to be willing. Okay. Now, what I'd say, beyond the pearl practice with going through all of that, is that if you believe you don't have enough time or money, is go make the time and money. Listen to the recent episodes where I share the first things first, which is my personal time management process, and you can download the sheets, the worksheets and templates for it. So put time in there in your calendar for what you need to do to make time for this, for whatever your horizon is, your legacy, the story that you're writing, right? Put it on your calendar first. And if it's a money mindset and issue, then baby step it. Decide you want it. Decide where you're going to get coached. Decide how much you'll put aside each week till you have enough for the session or the course. And once you've made these decisions, submit them to the Lord. And of course, ask Him to lead you in knowing which way to go. But decide what you want and go to Him with it. Share with Him what's in your heart. He built a house of prayer with King David simply because it was in David's heart to do it. He didn't wait for God to demand him to do it before he said he wanted it. He wanted to build the Lord a house of prayer, and God partnered with him with what was in his heart to do. So you don't have to even start out with a 6-month package or a 3-month course if you're getting a coach. Just start with one session. Right now, at the time of this episode's recording, my prices are super low for you at $167 for a new client session. That's an hour and 15 minutes long. In that time, we can do so many different things. Like we can talk about how to begin pursuing your gifting and calling, where your hindrances and challenges are, and how to move past them, overcoming mindsets that are holding you back, laying out a strategy and like exactly what are your next steps, and begin mapping it out. The difference between your now and your not yet. So many things just to start moving and get you real clarity because you took action to get a coaching session. You could take just one step towards your future and horizon. If I wanted something for $167 and I didn't have the money, I'd set aside, what would that be? $42 a week for 4 weeks, and then I would book it. Okay, $21 a week for 2 months. Having something you want, listen, Linda. Write this down. Having something you want eventually is far more fruitful than living from hopelessness because you can't have it immediately. Did you get that? Having something you want eventually is far more fruitful. It's better. It's greater than living in hopelessness and despair because you can't have it now. Duh. Eventually is better than immediately sometimes. Okay. I get off my box. So if you aren't looking to become a great coach, you need coaching in another area, there are so many people out there to work with. Oh my gosh. There are amazing coaches in the world. And in the coming days, there's going to be a directory of Sterling and Stone certified life coaches. So you can simply go to my website and then find the right coach for you and your season. You can do this, friend. You're worth it. You are called to grow and to be led, not just to do it all on your own, resisting, prideful, and living without intention. People who get coaching are people who are becoming intentional about their lives. They want to learn how to make committed decisions and bear good fruit for themselves, and also bear good fruit in their spheres of influence and in the lives of their significant others. They are change agents. They are pursuers of beauty and joy and growth, and they might not even know it yet. But coaching clients are amazing people who want to make the most out of their lives. They are their own story makers. They're willing to take action to create a tapestry of hope for the future. And there's duct tape on the path to this place. I know it. It's okay. But imagine what it would feel like if you just set the duct tape and the stapler and the Gorilla Glue down, and that wasn't what was holding you together. Imagine somebody giving you the right tools in this season that meet you where you are right now. Imagine your life being led and directed with intention and somebody to walk with you and share in that journey. So now if you're a coach or you want to be one, I hope you hear all of this and understand that you need exactly what it is that you want to offer to others. So to be a great coach, you need to be a great client. You need to understand what they want and what they fear and what they go through. And you need a coach and the experiences that come with being guided by somebody who wants to walk with you. You need somebody to help you get in the boat and turn around in it and dream of new horizons, and who helps you get your head on straight and helps you keep your head when the storms are tossing your boat and you can't see the horizon anymore because of the waves. So we've already started this summer's the greenhouse course, and I'm really loving it. The students are great, and I could totally live off of the energy. It's like a carbohydrate that I get from pouring into them every week. So if you are interested in the next greenhouse course, it starts at the end of September in 2022. So think of this, by December 1st, you could be a trained and certified life coach. Maybe that seems unfathomable for multiple reasons, but just because you can't have it now doesn't mean it should fall away or that it's a horizon not worth pursuing. And I make it super easy with payment plans too. But if you say, I don't have the money for it, start setting the money aside. But first, before you get to the money question, decide if it's what you want. And I always pray that God sends the right people for my courses and for my clients. So I trust Him to send you if you're the right person. I've lived off of miraculous provision for 20 years now. And I can tell you, once you know what you want and you go ask your Father for it, there's no going back. Providing for yourself from a place of immediate gratification and pride isn't very fun. You should practice letting yourself be in need of something and see what God is going to do with that. Because He loves providing for you, and He has so much fun creating miracles. But if you are constantly meeting your own needs, you never need a miracle. And if you don't need a miracle, you don't get one. So you will never have a testimony of the miraculous provision of God. So to wrap up, I'm trying to tell you that there's no reason to waste time duct taping your life and your business and your dreams together anymore. Here are the action steps you need to take to get moving with clarity and confidence towards your horizon, and let that horizon be, I am being coached. Okay? Get a coach so you can achieve results and experience transformation. So step 1 is know what you want. Clarify it. Write it out and say it out loud. Step 2 is decide that you want it and commit to that decision, that you want it enough to take action to get it. Step 3 is go to the Lord about it. Ask your Father to provide all that you need, not just financially, but also the relationships and the resources, the energy and the time. And step 4 is go take imperfect action, baby steps. Don't wait for everything to be perfectly aligned. Just start putting action steps on your calendar, set a deadline or goal date, put money aside, have the conversations you need to have, ask people for prayer, Write out what it's going to feel like when you reach this horizon. Actually help yourself experience the emotions and the belief you're going to have. What kind of thoughts are you going to be thinking when you get there? And lean into it. And step 5, trust. Just trust God for his timing. Trust yourself that what you want matters and you're worth it. Trust a coach to guide you and walk with you. And trust the process and the journey to provide what you need, even though you can't manipulate and control it or even see what the whole thing looks like ahead of time. Okay, friends, I bless you to know God's love today and to follow his voice. And I pray that you begin to believe how much you're worth and how precious you are in his sight. And I pray that you start understanding how much the investment into yourself now will matter in the long run, and that waiting for fate to land something on top of you is not a fun or faithful way to live. Do something with what's in your heart, the talents God's given you, and don't ignore the calling on your life. Go sow into yourself. You deserve more than just Gorilla Glue holding you together. Until next time. Are you ready to become a hero in your own story by investing in yourself through life coaching? Are you looking to become an amazing guide to others by becoming a coach or up-leveling your current practice? Then check out sterlingandstonementoring.com to see how we can work together. And don't forget, it's really easy to say thanks if any of this free content has been a blessing to you just by leaving a quick written review over on Apple Podcasts. And thank you in advance.